Dating after a 7-year relationship. This is part of my story I don't really share often, but it was one of the biggest forms of personal growth for me. Like, I've done a lot of personal development, read all the books, done all the courses, invested in coaching, but still, dating in my early 20s after a relationship was probably the biggest form of personal growth for me. Like, nothing pushed me to my edge as much as that. Nothing forced me to be confident as much as that. Nothing made me shit scared as much as that. Like, after a 7-year relationship where I didn't even have to think about dating, let alone go out and practice it, and then stepping into the dating world, like, that was so foreign to me. I was in a relationship from 16 to 23, and at 23 we both moved out to Australia from the UK. And when we moved out here, we finished the relationship a few months in, and then I moved to Brisbane on my own. And at that time, I was the first time single in my adult life, away from all my family and friends, and living in a city for the first time ever. Like, it was so much uncertainty. I felt like literally square one in my life. I had so much certainty around me from a super small town on the other side of the world, and now I'm in this big city, single for the first time. It literally felt like square one in my life. And going back into the dating scene and downloading the dating apps, like, I was so unconfident. I remember having to be so drunk in order to have the confidence to ask this girl on a date with me. And then when the date rolled around, I had to be so drunk in order to even turn up, to have the confidence to turn up. And the date actually went really well. I was so surprised, and that built so much confidence within myself that I can go out dating. So the next date, I drank a little bit less, went out on date. It went really well. And then the next date, drank a little bit less. And this is how the pattern went. I weaned myself off the alcohol slowly until eventually I went on my first date sober. And this was such a huge thing for me. Like, dating sober in my early 20s was the greatest form of personal development. Nothing pushed me closer to my edges. Nothing taught me more about myself. And eventually, when I was sober dating, I then got addicted to the fucking female attention. I was constantly going out on dates, constantly meeting women, constantly checking my messages, constantly needing validation from women. I became addicted to the external validation of female attention. And this was just another crutch for me. And what I realized when this stuff dropped in was I was using these external things like alcohol, like dating, as vices to lean on, so I didn't have to feel the emotions of the breakup. Like, after a 7-year relationship, I felt really broken. But instead of feeling those things, I wanted to distract myself. So I went to the gym, drank alcohol, went out on the weekends, and met women. And I realized this was an unhealthy pattern because I never felt the things I was wanting to feel, I was needing to feel. And because of that, every girl I met, I had this neediness, I had this desperation around me, I had this addiction towards a female attention. And this was so unhealthy, and women can really feel that. So it wasn't until I realized those things, became sober for a bit, and stopped dating for a bit, became secure within myself through all these personal development work, ran towards the feelings I was avoiding. And then from that, I was able to become secure in myself, meet the woman of my dreams, and not have this desperation, needy energy around me. And that completely transformed my relationship. So it's so powerful what you can do when you actually run towards the feelings you're avoiding. Especially in dating, if you're scared, do it. Like, even if you don't want a girlfriend, just do it for the personal development. Like, if you're a young man in your 20s, like, go out dating. That's going to teach you so much more about yourself than any amount of personal development. You can read 50 books on confidence. Nothing will teach you more than actually stepping into the ring. That sounds so bad. Not that ring. Just being the man in the arena, like going out and do the things rather than just talking about it, rather than just learning about it. Because I got stuck in that cycle of just doing personal development by learning all the time. But the thing that teaches you the most is actually getting in the arena, doing the thing. Like, move to Australia, go on that date, start that business, quit that job, break up with that girl, whatever it is. Like, stepping into that sort of risk is what teaches you the most, especially as a guy. Like, in your early 20s, if you're in a relationship and you don't want to be in a relationship, like, maybe you should be single. Maybe you should follow that risk, that fire you feel inside you to just leave and go to Australia, to just leave and start that business, like, whatever it is. Like, you get to do it. You have so much choice. You have so much options. You have so much time. So it's like, step into that uncertainty, go take that risk. And especially in dating, just lean into it. Go on as many dates, get the reps in, and then you'll create your dream life. Like, I fully believe the main source of my confidence came from dating. Came from me actually stepping into the feelings of fear, but then also realizing the crutches So realizing the vices and the coping mechanisms, like dating, like alcohol I was using, so I didn't have to feel the emotions of a breakup. So it's like dating after a 7-year relationship. The main thing was getting over my breakup. And the main thing that helped with that is actually dating, realizing I can date other people. There are other options out there. So that was huge for my confidence. But the main point of this video is, whatever you're avoiding, if you're using crutches, if you're addicted to gambling, social media, women, porn, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, find out what you're avoiding, because you're avoiding something. You're trying to get away from something. I need to figure out what that is for you. As soon as you find what that is, go into those feelings. Be curious about them. See where they stem from. Can you heal through those things? And only then you can go about your life in a secure way. So you must walk into the feelings, run into the feelings that you're avoiding, so you can overcome these shitty habits. And in terms of confidence, like going out dating, if you're single, like that is something huge for your confidence. So step into the fear, step into whatever you're feeling, step into whatever you don't want to feel, and that's the biggest form of personal growth. Better than anything you'll find in a personal development book. And then you'll find yourself on the Gold Coast at 27, watching the sunset, talking into a camera, teaching people to be confident. Peace out.